Thinking about moving to Spain, maybe a sunny village, the coast, or even just a slower pace of life. Well, before you pack your bags, there are 10 decisions that you really need to make. Or you might find yourself feeling frustrated, broke, or just wishing you'd thought things through. I've been through it, and today I'm going to give you 10 thought-provoking questions you need to answer before you make the move. Okay, first you need to figure out why you're moving to Spain. Are you chasing sunshine, escaping city stress, or just looking for a new adventure? Now, this question is super important because it's going to shape every other decision that you're going to make, where you live, how you work, and even how much money you need. And trust me, if your reasoning to move is just because you've seen a few videos on YouTube and it looks nice, then reality could soon set in. Now, the next decision is to decide, where do you want to live? Do you want the buzz of a city? Do you want a tourist-friendly coast or a nice, quiet Spanish village? Each is going to come with its own set of problems and surprises. Now, villages are peaceful and slower, but at times they can feel lonely. Cities are obviously a lot more convenient, but at the same time, they're a lot more expensive. And then you've got the coast, which I guess is probably somewhere in between the two. But the coast can often feel very seasonal and more like you're just actually one of the tourists as to somebody who's permanently living here. So think about this and decide this first, because this can save you the trouble of moving twice. Okay, this is a big one. Should you rent first or buy straight away? Now, let's imagine you've sold your place in your own country, or you've got enough money in your pocket to even be able to afford to buy something outright. Well, this is a decision that you're going to have to make. Personally, I would strongly suggest that the best thing to do is to rent first. Now, I know there is that frame of mind sometimes that if you're renting, you're giving away money, it's dead money. But I think when you're making a big decision such as moving country, I would strongly suggest that you rent first. That way you can check out the local area, see if you like the particular surroundings, whether it's a city, village or coast. And then once you've made that decision, you will feel a lot more comfortable about buying. So how are you going to fund your new life here in Spain? Is it remote work, savings, pensions, selling everything you own? Whatever it is, be realistic. Spain can be affordable, but costs can quickly build up. There's taxes, insurances, maybe renovations if you're buying a new place. Even small things like utilities. Know your numbers before you make the move. And also, if you're reliant on work to be able to fund your new life here, don't be fooled. Working in Spain is not like maybe back in the UK or the US. It's very difficult to find work here, and if you do find work, the salaries are very low. Okay, the next thing to consider is residency and visas. Now, in Spain, residency rules can change, and the type of visa you're going to need is really dependent on how you're planning to live. Are you looking to retire, work remotely, or maybe something completely different? Get this one sorted and make sure you've done your homework before you make the move, because if you don't, you could find yourself in a tricky situation. The next decision you're going to have to make is what kind of healthcare you're looking to use here in Spain. Are you considering the public system or private healthcare, or maybe a mix of the both? Do your homework here, because even if you get a residency here in Spain or a visa, it doesn't necessarily mean that you've got automatic entitlement to a public healthcare system. Therefore, you may need to pay for private. So do your homework before you leave home, because the numbers on this can soon stack up. The next question to ask yourself is, what is your language commitment? Now, this is a really big one, because this is going to seriously affect any other decision that you make about where you've chosen to live. If you move to a small Spanish village and you don't speak a reasonable amount of Spanish, then it could seriously affect your day-to-day life. At the same time, if you choose to go and live maybe in a very English-speaking area on the coast, you may find that you never really feel like you're 100% part of the country. So consider what your language commitment is before you come. Do you want to be able to speak fluently or just enough to get by? Decision 8 should be, what comforts are non-negotiable for you? Now, I really want you to think about this, and don't make the assumption that living here in Spain, you're going to get all the same comforts that you will necessarily back in your home country. Think about what's really important for you and make a list. Do you need a solid internet connection and fast speeds if you're planning to work? Do you need a car? Do you want a place that's got a lot of space? Do you want access to all the shops? Think about what you can and can't live with, because doing this will save you endless frustration. Decision 9 should be about how much bureaucracy and patience you can tolerate. Spain has a lot of bureaucracy, and I mean a lot of it, and even the simplest of things can take a lot of time. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if your language commitment is very low, you're not planning to really learn the language, things that are already difficult can become almost impossible. You're going to need to pay for a translator to take along with you, and you're just going to feel like you don't really understand everything that's going on. So think about this, because if you don't, you could find that these things simply drive you insane. Okay, and decision 10 is, what's your exit plan? I know that sounds very pessimistic, but have an exit plan. If things don't work out here, how are you going to get back home? Think about these things. I've seen it so many times over my 2 decades here. People move here, 6 months later, they've realised that they're missing home and they want to get back. So make sure that you've got this one thought out, because by doing this, it gives you freedom and you've not got that sense of fear in the background. So there you have it, folks, 10 decisions that I'd like you to think about before you make a move to Spain. If you've enjoyed this video, as always, please hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free to do. It doesn't cost a penny, but it really helps this channel to grow. Also, if you've got any questions that you'd like me to reply to, leave them in the comment section below and I'll get straight back to you on that. Anyway, enjoy whatever you're doing for the rest of the day, and I'll catch you in the next one.